I was right, folks. I always am. Roll the tape.
To that end, I think that people are going to use the indictment, very powerful people on the Republican side of things, might use this indictment to kind of scoot him out of the way. So we could be looking at a race that just has the top guy taken out of it. That's very possible, at least in my imagination. I think the Federalist Society and the Heritage Foundation types, really don't want him around too much longer.
So two Federalist Society affiliated legal professors, Michael Baudet and William Paulson, published an article in the Pennsylvania Law Review basically arguing that Trump should be permabanned from holding elected office ever again. What makes this article interesting is not that two white-collar conservatives turn on Donald Trump. That happens all the time, but because of who these people are affiliated with. So who is the Federalist Society? Well, they're a conservative legal organization that has been maybe the most influential organization in conservative politics, even above and beyond the GOP itself. In fact, all 6 conservative justices who are sitting on the Supreme Court right now are members of the Federalist Society. These people have basically had one goal since the 1990s, and that's the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and they also wanted to get as many conservative justices on the Supreme Court as humanly possible. So that's the background of the organization. So what did they actually say about Donald Trump? So in the article they write, it is unquestionably fair to say that Donald Trump engaged through both his actions and inactions. And in the press, Professor Paulson said, there are many ways that this could be a lawsuit presenting a vital constitutional issue that potentially the Supreme Court could want to hear and decide on. We're not saying that this should go to the Supreme Court. We're just saying that if the most powerful legal organization on the face of the planet wanted to take this to the Supreme Court, they definitely could. What you have to understand about this article is that it's not out there because two legal professors decided to do a little bit of creative writing. It is a very deliberate message to Donald Trump saying, hey, you're losing friends and you're losing them very quickly. An organization as powerful as the Federalist Society isn't going to have 2 of its members just willy-nilly put out a paper unless they really wanted it out there. These people move as a unit. I pointed this out in the last video, but it makes very perfect sense that the Federalist Society would want Donald Trump moved out of the way. Trump has been very useful to white-collar conservatives in the past, with low tax cuts and bringing conservative justices onto the Supreme Court. But at this very moment in time, Trump is actually more of a liability than he is an asset. Not only has he denied the results of the election, but he has become a very unelectable candidate in his own right and has also made the rest of the GOP very unelectable in itself. The GOP was basically humiliated in the 2022 presidential election because a lot of their candidates were just way too extreme and aligned with Trump way too closely. And the Federalist Society is taking notice, and I think trying to move him out of the way is, the best course of action for them. If you look at the behavior of other establishment figures, their actions start to make sense given the light of this theory. The judge presiding over the Trump classified documents case decided to move the case forward even though she could have held it back to review more evidence. She's a Federalist Society member. Also, why are so many establishment Republicans hopping into the primary race even though they know they're going to get beat by Donald Trump? Well, maybe it's because they don't have to. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're going to be covering the first Republican debate. It's coming up in exactly 1 week, August 23rd. I plan on live streaming the event. The live stream is going to start right here on this YouTube channel at 8 p.m. You're not going to want to miss it. Stop by the stream and say hello. I'll see you then.